Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Positive Thought for the Day. Thought I would do something just a little bit different. I couldn't take you all with me on my recent trip home to Louisiana, so I took my drone and took some pictures and thought I'd show you what it was like back in Louisiana. This is Bayou Bonity, a place where I used to fish when I was just a young boy. When I was a teenager, about 16 years old, I was with my friend Hal Watts, and right here in this group of cypress, I caught a 4.5-pound bass. This used to be one of my favorite places to fish growing up. It's only about 12 miles from where my dad lives, so we traveled over there quite often. You can see the waterways are filled with cypress. But Bayou Bonity is not the only bayou that snakes its way through all the northern parishes of Louisiana. Bayou Lafourche is not far from Bayou Bonity. As a matter of fact, my Uncle Lloyd lives right on Bayou Lafourche. You'll see his house in just a minute. These type of bayous make their way all around the northern parishes in Louisiana, and the terrain in Louisiana is quite a bit different from where I currently call home in Blount County, Alabama. There I am controlling my drone, standing just outside Uncle Lloyd's house. I thought I would take the drone up to a little bit higher height and just show you what the landscape looked like around Uncle Lloyd's house. There you can see the flat delta in which I was raised. I lived in a town just 20 miles south of here, but graduated high school in a town just 12 miles east of here. You see all the cornfields. Looks quite a bit different from Blount County, Alabama, doesn't it? We don't have bayous snaking everywhere. We definitely don't have fields quite the size that they have in the delta of Louisiana. You see the cornfield there, some soybean fields, but notice the field off in the distance that's bright green. We'll get back to that in just a minute. Monday night, Dad and I went out to a restaurant. Well, the restaurant actually had a large tent set up just outside the front of the restaurant. And we had a Louisiana delicacy, boiled crawfish. We both ate pounds of them. On Tuesday, we went to Uncle Lloyd's house. Even Bo was happy to see me. It's always good when we get together at one of the Swain's house. We went inside for a feast. Uncle Floyd was making homemade biscuits. And that day, let me tell you something, we actually truly had a feast. Smothered pork chops on rice, black-eyed peas, creamed corn, fried okra, and sausage and onions with homemade biscuits. It sure was good. It was good to be at Uncle Lloyd's house and visit with Uncle Lloyd and Floyd the twins and with my Aunt Ida Ruth and my dad. Just on the way home, I stopped just a few miles from Uncle Lloyd's house, just outside of Oak Ridge, Louisiana, and took these pictures of a rice field. That's the green field I told you to remember just a couple of minutes ago. I stopped just 3 miles from where I took that first footage and took this picture. You can see the landscape is quite a bit different from what we have here in Alabama. There's Bayou Bonity. That's the one that I was showing you right at the very beginning of this video. And just for perspective, I took the drone up high and spun it around, and there's me standing outside Cooper's truck that I made the trip in. Thanks for going along with me on this trip home that I took last weekend. I know this is not your typical positive thought for the day, but I appreciate you going along with me on my trip this last weekend through these pictures. It's always good to go back home and visit family and be with those you love. But you know what's even better? Coming back to your real home. And I suppose that's my positive thought for today. We live here and we're living our life, but we have an eternal home prepared for us by our Father, and one day we'll get to go be with Him forever. So we journey here, but we look forward to the day that we can actually go to our eternal home. So that's my positive thought. It was good to go back to Louisiana, but I sure was glad to be home, back in Blount County, Alabama. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you have a great day, and I hope that you are like me in that we are looking forward to the day we get to go home and be with our Heavenly Father forever.